What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for Monday Night Raw review for the go-home show to the Elimination Chamber. Can't believe the Elimination Chamber is already here, February 15th, 2021. But tonight was a lot of head-scratching, things that just piss you off, and the fact that now comes the question of who's going to be facing Asuka at the Elimination Chamber, because tonight it was revealed that Lacey Evans will not be able to compete because she is with child for real. Why? I don't know why they did it this way, but it is what it is. Also, Miz takes himself out of the Money in the Bank, out of the Elimination Chamber match, hoping to insert John Morrison when a former WWE champion comes up to Adam Pearce and says, what the hell are you doing? I should be in there. Not John Morrison. So we had a match between this person and The Miz. If this person won, they're in. If The Miz won, John Morrison was in. And also the main event of the show, we had ourselves a gauntlet match, which was the final hour of Monday Night Raw, which gauntlet matches have been going on through the Elimination Chamber since 2017. When they had that excellent run by Seth Rollins, who I think he won the gauntlet match that year. And that Vince McMahon was like, these are great, we should do them more often, and we do it every single time, it seems like. Now, SmackDown on Friday will be getting a 6-man tag match with babyfaces versus heels. Good fucking grief. WWE just never comes up with anything normal or anything that is original. So, we started the show off with Miz on Miz TV. No John Morrison. The excuse they come up with is that he was making a diss track against Bad Bunny or whatever. Don't really care. He comes out, he introduces Drew McIntyre. They have, I can't even listen. I cannot listen to this garbage anymore. I cannot listen to the shit that they have coming out of the Miz's mouth. I just cannot. He is an embarrassment to this company. He is an embarrassment just to professional wrestling as a whole, and I just can't deal with him. No. Just no. So, they're talking for a bit, and Drew gets up and headbutts, gives a Glasgow kiss to Miz, grabs the Money in the Bank, chucks it away, and that was pretty much it. Matt Riddle and the Lucha House Party takes on the Hurt Business. This match is happening because the Hurt Business and Matt Riddle have been just having this ever-long feud, it feels like. And the Lucha House Party a couple weeks ago had the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match, which they ended up losing, if I'm correct, clean. Why they're having a 6-man tag match overall, I don't know. Of course, it's the Tag Team Champions, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin and MVP. Bobby Lashley nowhere to be seen originally, but we do see him watching the match in the back during it. This was a fun, good match here. All 6 guys went out there, showed you a good time, and Riddle gets the drop on MVP's forearm gets dropped with an MVP forearm. MVP goes for the ball and elbow drop. He hits it, but Lindsay and Malik break up the pin. Cedric with a lumbar check on Metalik. Lindsay super kicks Cedric, but Shelton drops Lindsay. Riddle with the final flash knee to Shelton to the floor. Lindsay leaps up to the top and takes Shelton down back to the floor. Riddle drops MVP with the knee to the face. Riddle goes to the top and hits the floating bro. 1, 2, 3. And the Lucha House Bros, let's say that right, Lucha House Bros, get the win. After the match, they're celebrating on the ramp. Bobby Lashley comes from behind, attacks all 3, takes out the Lucha House Party, and then puts the Hurt Lock back onto Matt Riddle. And that was that. No Keith Lee to break it up or anything. No Keith Lee on this show. Backstage, Miz is backstage with Adam Pearce complaining about how how dented the Money in the Bank briefcase is, thanks to Drew McIntyre. Thanks Pearce for allowing him a spot in the Elimination Chamber, and he wants to give back. He wants to give his chamber spot to a young up-and-comer who is ready to grab the brass ring, John Morrison. Which, Adam Pearce was into it for a minute. He's like, oh, really? Who's this going to be? And then he says John Morrison. He gets that look on his face like, what? What? Pearce says it should, but he promises to take it under consideration. They shake hands, and Miz walks off. Back from break, we see how Bad Bunny got involved with Damian Priest's win over Angel Garza last week. Mandy Rose is backstage with Bad Bunny now, telling him how good he did last week. She's wearing his t-shirt and asks if he has one for Dana Brooke. She wishes him luck on SNL this week and walks off. Priest walks up and greets Bunny. Sarah Schreiber talks about how good this week is going. He plugs Bad Bunny on SNL. They're interrupted by Akira Tozawa pinning R-Truth for the 24/7 championship. Tozawa's backs into Priest, who beats the shit out of him. Bad Bunny gets the cover after instructions from Damian Priest. 1, 2, 3, and Bad Bunny is your winner. Where is this going? Why would they give Bad Bunny the 24/7 championship? It's real simple. He's going to be hosting. He's going to be performing on SNL. I don't know if he's hosting. Is he hosting? I'm not sure. I think he's only performing. I think he's only performing. So sometime on Saturday, whenever they do this whole the Saturday Night Live thing, R-Truth is going to be there. He's going to roll up Bad Bunny and get the title back. That's exactly where they're going with this. Why? Because they fucking can. It's so stupid. Do I care about Bad Bunny? Hell no. The New Day is Max in town and Pierce. Kofi Kingston wants to take the Miz's spot in the Elimination Chamber. Woods just wants to finish his feud with Retribution, talking about how he wants to get the final match in his best of 5. Because if you look, it's Retribution 2, Xavier Woods 2, He Wants Reckoning. Ain't ever gonna happen. I'm still, it is one of those things like, well, you're not gonna have a proper intergender match. What Reginald and Sasha Banks did was different because they did a Cirque du Soleil match, but you're not gonna see like an actual man-on-women match in WWE. It's just not gonna happen. Things get here. Miz walks up and says he and Pierce have an understanding about John Morrison getting a spot. Things get here as Pierce tells them to relax. He announces Kofi versus Miz for the Chamber spot. Woods predicts that this could lead to Kofi Mania 2. They take shots at Miz about his acting career because Miz says, and I quote, "Sequels always suck." So they're like, well, we did see the mean 4, the mean 5. The remaining 6. And he's like, those are classics. The WWE produced movies, and they are not classics. So to come Oscar and Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce, and we go right into that match after a promo for the Elimination Chamber. So we get this match, and Lacey Evans is on the apron for all of it, as we know. So they're beating the hell out of Peyton Royce. They go to, Peyton Royce tags in Lacey Evans, and she gets back. Flair brings it back in. Flair tags in Evans, who hesitates as Flair stalks her. Evans walks down the steps, apparently walking on the mat. Charlotte is seething. Evans takes the mic and says Charlotte isn't going to put her hands on her and says she is pregnant. Flair seems shocked, but then he starts celebrating. Charlotte looks on from the ring and she's not happy, so just disappointed. Flair struts up the ramp, followed by Evans, following Evans to the back. So, yes, this is a legitimate pregnancy. She is going to be gone for the majority of the year now. If not the rest of the year. I mean, Becky Lynch had her child in December, and we still haven't seen her yet. So, who knows when Becky Lynch is going to come back. But that's another woman off. Now, I have a feeling, and I saw this on social media tonight too, if it wasn't for the pregnancy, what was going to probably happen on Sunday was Lacey Evans was going to somehow, probably thanks to Ric Flair, beat Asuka. And then it was going to lead to Lacey Evans versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, with Charlotte getting her another championship win, thus getting another WrestleMania moment. Because, you know, Charlotte Flair hasn't already had a million of those. Now the question is, who's going to replace her? There was no mention. Now here's the thing. Good for her. Congratulations to Lacey Evans. I wish her nothing but the best. And her husband, which they did imply that, in storyline, they implied that it was Ric Flair's baby. That's why he was freaking out and going completely crazy and saying, call me daddy, whatever. And it's like, holy shit, they're so stupid. Didn't they just do a little over a year ago when Sasha Banks and Baylor were both the heel team and we still had a crowd. It was like a year and a half ago when Lacey Evans was a babyface and they used her daughter and husband in storyline. But again, I have no idea what's going to happen with the women's division, with the women's championship match. They didn't announce anything on Raw. Instead of doing this tag team match and doing the same exact thing that they did with Mike Bennett and Maria Bennett, where it was Mike Bennett and Maria Bennett versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Becky tags in, goes after Maria. Maria gets out of the ring and says, "I'm pregnant!" Or she gets in the ring, she's like, "I'm pregnant!" Why do they go down that route? Instead of, giving us having her do something with Ric Flair in the back, do some kind of promo, and announce that she's pregnant that way, and then we could spend the show having a four-way, six-way, whatever way, with Charlotte, Shayna, Nia, Naomi, Lana, if they want to do that, and one more. Peyton Royce, what the fuck ever, 6. Get a 6-pack challenge for the women. The winner goes to the Elimination Chamber to face Asuka. But they didn't do that, so who the fuck knows what they're doing at the Elimination Chamber? They haven't said anything. So I don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, they did mention something about Keith Lee possibly being injured. I don't know if it's a kayfabe or not. So I don't know what's going on. So yeah, the Elimination Chamber is having a lot of problems now because you have Lacey Evans out. Keith Lee most likely out too if he's also injured. So that's 2 matches are going to be changed there. So it'll become Matt Riddle versus Bobby Lashley if Keith Lee's not cleared, and I don't know what's going on with Asuka. So yeah, that's the Elimination Chamber 2021 for you, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit, this company is just so stupid. Now, back from break, and we see what happened with Lacey Evans. We go back to the ring, and Miz is... Kofi's on in the ring after he made his entrance before. And then out comes the Miz. And we have ourselves this match. Was it a good match? It was decent. Miz Kofi doing everything he can to make it look as good as it can. But, yeah. The Miz just... I can't stand the fucking Miz. I cannot, for the life of me, stand the Miz. He's an embarrassment to this company. He's an embarrassment to everything in wrestling. And Kofi doing the right thing, blocking the Skull Crushing finale. Rose comes up for a 2, comes back, hits the Trouble in Paradise out of nowhere for the 1, 2, 3, and he earns the Elimination Chamber spot. He, of course, will have to be in the Gauntlet match a little bit later. We see how Lana defeated Nia Jax in the tables match last week. And we have whole jokes now. Last week, if you remember, on Monday Night Raw, Lana took on Nia Jax in the tables match, which has been a long time coming and should have happened months ago. Well, Nia Jax missed a leg drop and ended up saying, "Oh, my butt, my hole." And WWE on Monday last week, late Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday seemed to want nothing to do with it. It was buried on Monday Night Raw replay. It wasn't on the Hulu edition. They took it off of YouTube. They didn't want it to be anyway because they were so embarrassed by it. Then somebody in WWE had to have shown Vince. It's like, Vince, look at this trending. Look how funny people are making fun of this. People find this funny. People are like laughing their asses off at this. We need to strike while the iron is hot, man. He's like, "That's a good idea, my whore, ha 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 ha, that's hilarious, ha 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 ha." So, we have whole jokes. And, oh my God, that pisses me off so much when they go down this road. Back from break, and we get another hype to the Elimination Chamber. And then we go to Randy Orton. He says, thanks to Sheamus' actions last week, he and Drew McIntyre still have unfinished business. That's alright. He goes about winning the Night's Gauntlet and doing whatever it takes to get what he wants. He mentions lighting the Fiend on fire to get rid of him, and now he's no more. He says his sights are set on something else, the WWE title and main eventing WrestleMania 37. Orton says he won't be in the chamber with 5 opponents, he will be in the chamber with 5 victims. Victims are the 3 most dangerous letters, RK, and we quickly cuts to a vignette with Alexa Bliss. We see the Firefly Funhouse door. She says, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Blows a handful of ashes, and it looks like, says, The fire did destroy, but the future he will be reborn. And we pan out, and she is sitting in the middle of a pentacle. Now, I don't like. I looked it up. A pentagram is a five-pointed star without a circle. This one had the circle with like everything else. So I don't know if it's I'm pretty sure it's a pentacle, but I've also heard it was a pentagram, which you don't want to fuck with a pentagram or a pentacle. In my opinion, I just think it's something they should go that far with. But she's looking up on her knees as the red glow shines, and the floor appears to rumble. Bliss starts laughing uncontrollably while she looks up at the camera above. She is going complete shit crazy, and it's very interesting to see what WWE does with this. Again, I don't think we need to go into witchcraft, but okay. We go back to the ring, and out comes Lana with Naomi back to break, and we get the promo for the Young Rocks, which starts on Tuesday. I really don't give a shit. We've had young Chris Rock, whatever the fuck that was. Young Chris, which was Chris Rock. Young Chris Rock. Do we really need a Young Rock? No, we don't. But they'll find somebody who wants to watch that shit, because I sure as hell don't want to. We had this match, and pretty much Shayna beats the hell out of her. Now, we almost had a spot where Shayna Baszler was about to get fucking beat. Well, Naomi Jax attacks Naomi at the ringside, launches her into the barrier as fans boo. Fake fans, of course. Jax scoops Naomi up, but she's able to slide out, sending Jax into the ring post and drop-kicking her to the steps. Baszler then comes out, grabs Naomi through the ropes, but Lana rolls her up, 1-2, kick out. I was this close to throwing my fucking phone, because if that's the way they would have beaten Shayna Baszler, that would have been just a fucking slap in the face to Shayna Baszler. And she levels her with a huge knee to the chest. Baszler covers for the pin, but stops and turns that into a kill for the clutch. Lana has no choice but to tap out. And that is that. After the match, Baszler and Jax stand tall, and the music hits. Lana and Naomi try to recover. Remember, those two are challenging for the tag team titles soon. Then we go backstage, and we see Braun Strowman seething, which, if you didn't know, about like the day or two after the Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman got an infection in his blood. So I didn't think we'd see him back this soon, but it's great to see that he's made a speedy recovery, whatever the fuck was ailing him. That is not something that you want to really fuck with, an infection in your blood that can really fuck you up. But yeah, good to see Braun Strowman back. And he's not happy with the fact that he's not in the Elimination Chamber. And he's like, and Adam Pearce is like, they wanted 5 former WWE champions. He's like, I'm a former WWE Universal Champion. And Adam Pearce is like, well, that's not technically a WWE champion, but I'm like, they're the same fucking title. I know they're not, but they represent the same thing. They're both world championships. That was stupid. So basically, Braun Strowman's like, well, you know what? You need to send Shane a message that says he needs to make this right, or else things won't be good around here. So basically, I feel like what we're teasing now is that we're going to have at WrestleMania Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. Why? Do anybody want, like, you're going to have for the first time, I'm just speculating here on this, but you're going to have for the first time in over a fucking year an actual live 20 plus thousand crowd in a football stadium. And you want to present them Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. What? I'm hoping I'm fucking wrong, but why else would you have Braun Strowman get pissed off and be like, Shane needs to make this right or there's going to be hell to pay? It just reeks of this is going to be Shane versus Braun Strowman at the at WrestleMania. And again, this is the first pay-per-view. WrestleMania is going to be the first 2 nights that they're going to have live crowds at a wrestling event in over a year. And I mean, not these little crowds that we have at NXT takeovers and NXT shows. I mean, like, upwards of 25,000, even more maybe, because You never know because it's only February. We still have a full another month to go. When we get to April, they might go, well, we could have 30,000 fans here, no problem. 40,000, you don't know. We don't know. A lot can happen between now and April. It could be something where it's like, well, we have to knock that down to 10,000. We don't know. But this is the first time you're going to have thousands and thousands of fans in the arena, and you're going to want to put on Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. This should be something that Vince McMahon puts on the quintessential best show he has ever put on in the last 20 years. Because it's the first time again that you're going to have actual living souls in the crowd. Not on video screens, but in the crowd. So we go to the gauntlet match. AJ Styles, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, and WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. Now, AJ Styles comes out. He is the first person to come out. He brings up he's not thrilled with the idea of Kofi trying to relive Kofi Mania or create Kofi Mania 2, which it's never not going to happen. Even if Kofi Kingston goes on to the Elimination Chamber and gives you another Kofi Mania-esque performance, Kofi Mania became Kofi Mania because the crowd got behind him. Do you seriously think that this scandemic shit happened in 2019 and Kofi Kingston had to go to the elimination, went to the Elimination Chamber, did all that, and then the crowd, we had to shut down that week, and we didn't have crowds after that? Do you really think Kofi Mania would have been as big or as memorable without a crowd on the way to WrestleMania and that WrestleMania crowd? Hell no. Kofi Mania, of course, peaked at WrestleMania. The build to WrestleMania is what made Kofi Mania as big as it was. You're not going to be able to have a Kofi Mania tomb, especially now. He's going to shut those dreams down tonight with this warm-up match. He says he's going to give another example tonight of what he's going to do in the Chamber. Now, through everyone and ride the momentum all the way to the title. He mentions how Omos and Joseph Park crunched the numbers and the statistics say AJ can't lose. AJ and Omos go on to the promo until out comes Kofi Kingston, as he will be starting as well. Now, the story in this match here is that Kofi Kingston was limping on his left knee because of the match with The Miz, so he is compromised. There is a time in this where AJ is onto the floor, leaps backwards and takes AJ's down. Quids watches from the top of the announce table. He plays Francesca. Omos is having none of this. Grabs Rhodes by the throat in the middle of the instrument play, holds in the air with ease, then drives him over the barrier into where the crowd would be, killing Xavier Woods for this week. It wasn't almost killed Kenny, it was almost killed Xavier. Holy wow. That was brutal. So, AJ turns back around after Omos gets eliminated and clips Kofi in the knee, and that was pretty much the end of that. He takes over from there. AJ takes, let me see here. Back in the break, and AJ counters Kofi to the mat, applying the single leg crab. Kofi tries to get to the rope, but AJ pulls back. Kofi rolls AJ into a 2. AJ comes right back in the kick and hurts knee. AJ charges Kofi, but Kofi nails the SOS out of nowhere. Kofi is too hurt to capitalize from the 10 attempt. AJ ends up hitting another chop block. Kofi sends AJ to the mat from the top. Kofi then crashes down on AJ's back, but he lands on his bad knee. Kofi calls over the close 2 count. Kofi limps twice for his feet and runs over AJ twice. Kofi keeps control, but AJ nails a modified DDT to the ankle to bring him back down. Goes in the apron, hits the phenomenal forearm, and he nails it in the middle of the ring, and he eliminates Kofi Kingston. No Kofi Mania on this night. Not like the last time he was in one. Out comes the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, who is going to run the rest of the gauntlet. Spoiler alert. So these guys have, I think, the bulk of the show after this, because these guys just continue to wrestle. They have a long-ass portion of this match. If you could time each section, I'd say this was probably the longest match of each match in this. We'll talk about the Randy Orton one here in a minute. Drew ends up hitting the Claymore. And that was that. After a good, long, it felt like 25-minute match. Pre-recorded words from Jeff Hardy, who is out next. He says he risks his worth making his way back to WrestleMania. He ambushes Drew McIntyre. They have themselves a fight. And Drew McIntyre ends up beating... He hits a Claymore, if I'm correct. Hits a Claymore, 2 count. Jeff goes up, goes for a Swanton, knees up, Claymore, 1, 2, 3, and that's that. In comes Randy Orton. So this one was interesting because they do wrestle, they do have a bit of a fight, but Orton gets sent to the barrier, and then the lights go down. We hear Alexa Bliss is laughing. Her face appears on every single one of the members of the crowd. He is surrounded by hundreds of laughing Alexa Bliss faces. His referee keeps counting, and Orton gets counted out by elimination. Orton hears this and returns to the ring, but Drew hits him with the Claymore, and that was that. It comes down to Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. But Randy Orton, earlier in his promo, said he's done with The Fiend, and The Fiend was gone. And, of course, Alexa Bliss is like, he's coming back soon. Now, a part of me still thinks that WWE is going to do the bait and switch and have Randy Orton somehow, someway walk out of the Elimination Chamber with the WWE Championship. And then Edge be like, well, I don't want Orton to be champion, so I'm going to go for him, and we'll go from there. But what's probably going to happen is that The Fiend is going to get involved, costing Randy Orton his spot at the Elimination Chamber, in the Elimination Chamber. And they're going to go to WrestleMania, and that's where we're going to see the end of Fiend and Randy Orton. Should they stretch it out that long? Probably not. But Sheamus just beats the living piss out of him before the match. So the referee wants to know if he can continue. And he does say yes, they start the match. And this was just dominated by Sheamus from here on out. Drew tries to get some offense in, goes for the Claymore kick, eats a Sprode kick, 1, 2, 3. And Sheamus is the final man in the Elimination Chamber. After the match, he gets on the stage with a mic bragging about his win. Drew's trying to recover. Sheamus taunts Drew by bragging about being the odds-on favorite and going on about how he become the new WWE champion on Sunday, and that Drew can't beat him, and on Sunday he will prove it's not a fluke. And that was Raw. Monday Night Raw this week just, The Lacey Evans thing just pisses me off. You could have thought of a better way to do it. You could have given us something, literally something, to make the match worth a damn. Like instead of just going, we're going to do this tag team match, well, we know she's pregnant, so she's going to have to sit outside the match, the entire match, and then we're going to have her get tagged in, walk away just like, do like Maria Kanellis did, and be like, whoa, no, don't touch me, I'm pregnant. And on top of that, have it feel like they're implying that it's Ric Flair's baby. Even though it wasn't that long ago that they had her husband and her daughter in this show. What in the literal hell are they doing? I don't have a fucking clue. This company has no fucking clue on what they're doing. So Monday Night Raw ends. We're on to Friday night with the Elimination Chamber coming around. That'll be when we have our predictions on who's going to win the Chamber matches, what's going to happen with everything else. Maybe by then we'll have a Women's Championship challenger. I don't know why they won't have anybody who deserves a championship match, as long as it's not fucking Charlotte. But that is your Monday Night Raw review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the Frowns Club. Find me on twitch.tv/frowns club, and find me on Instagram at the Frowns Club. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for AEW. Until then, my name is the Frowns, and I'll see you guys later.